yes, I'm kind of moving away from MS a little bit, and I'm going to give you two talks, actually. The chairs have asked me to talk about the Nightingale Award that I received last year in the middle of COVID. And then while I've got a captive audience, I'm also going to talk about the MS Nurse certified exam, because I know that it's not a common exam that MS nurses take, and I'd quite be interested in knowing the barriers to that. But the process has changed, so I want to kind of inform you about that a little bit. So the Nightingale Award is awarded every year to 10 people, and it's for current projects that need a bit of funding or reshaping, or it can be for new time-limited projects, maybe personal education, and also research that may be in MS or a related field. And this is awarded by the International Committee in America. And I'm pleased to say that I applied for one of these last year in the middle of COVID. I was feeling quite frustrated, and I'm going to go on and explain what about. And I was successful in getting an award. And around the world, there were 10 awards given, and I'm pleased to say that there were 2 for the UK. One with Moira up in Scotland, and I hope she's going to talk about it at the next MS Trust conference. But you can see a really big spread around the world of applications, and all for very distinct, different reasons. So in COVID, as we all know, our services kind of were decimated. Some people were redeployed to wards. Some services were being run single-handedly, and we were all searching for information, and our patients more than ever were contacting us and wanting further information about MS, about COVID, whatever, but we weren't there. So where did they go? Where did we all go? We all went to social media. We went to a web. And there is a lot of great advice there. There's a lot of good support, but there's a load of crap out there too. And all that advice is very generic, and it is very national. It wasn't specific to the local needs of my patients. My patients needed to know where to go in Herefordshire for certain things, where to hire things. They wanted advice from their physios who weren't there. They were having difficulty with their employers and negotiating furloughs and working from home and all of that vocational rehabilitation aspect. So I thought that, I had this brainwave of this wonderful website that would meet the needs of my population. And God, have I opened a can of worms in doing that. So the award is a monetary award, and it's $5,000, which equates to, £3,612. So it's not a lot of money. So I won the award, and now I have to do something with it. And it's COVID time, and how do I engage with that? I have no knowledge about websites or anything. And I know from doing an internet search myself, you could set up your own website, but the problem is with DIY websites, you have to update them, and you have to pay fees for domain names, etc. So I actually engaged in a company. I kind of put a few feelers out locally and engaged in a great local company, and they were going to create a website for me for £2,650. A bargain, I thought, because when I first was working in the UK MSSNA, I was responsible for putting the care manual into a website. Now it's on one website, and that cost £16,000 at that time. So I was amazed that I could actually get this done in my budget. I think he was being quite kind to me, I have to say. It was a friend of a friend of a friend, and that was, great. And some of the local physios had used them for their private work, for their websites anyway. So the website I went for is, this company is building it, and I will give content, he will put content on there, and then once it's published, then it's more ownership. But annually, there will be a fee to update it, make sure everything is tickety-boo, whatever he has to do, I have no idea. I'm just leaving it to him. So the ongoing cost is £740 a year. I was very fortunate that I lead the MS service, but I also manage epilepsy and Parkinson's as well. And I was talking, I had to do a presentation to the trust board, and I was telling them about this, and they were going, no worries, we'll pay for another year. So I've got funding for another year, but I need to find further funding going on. So I didn't have a logo. I didn't know what you did about a logo. So there was a suggestion of crowdsourcing. Does anyone know about crowdsourcing? I have no idea. You pay £200 and you put a brief out to designers and they will actually find a logo. And I'm going to go through the brief in a minute because it's quite interesting, really. And we had to register the name, which was only £20, but you have to do that every year, which I didn't know. So it would then come up in a Google search. If somebody's searching Hereford and MS, then this will come up in the top 5, so that, you know, we would get some hits. And that's the annual ongoing thing. So obviously, I won this award in September-ish time, and I got the money in October. That was an issue. Because where do you put the money? At that time, they were stripping everyone's budgets to pay for COVID, etc. And I ended up putting it in a Parkinson's charity trust fund, which it's still sat there at the moment. I haven't paid the bill yet, which was interesting. So this is a slow burner. I'm not that much further forward, but I will share with you what I've done. So to crowdsource for the logo, they wanted descriptors that, you know, you thought that would be good for the website. So whether it was going to be professional, informative, etc. They wanted to understand about the colour schemes that you like. So I went very neutral and, you know, gender neutral. I didn't want kind of pinks or any kind of loads and loads of blues. So it was quite difficult. You had to put thought to it. And then they were talking about the style, and they gave not just these. There was loads of different logos that they wanted to understand your thoughts of, whether you wanted illustrations and characters or something a little bit more symbolic without words. Also, they wanted to know about font styles and the look and the feel. So I had to kind of gauge where I thought whether it should be more playful or more serious, you know, traditional or modern, etc. So it's quite an interesting process. And these were some of the responses that we had back. So you put it out to these designers for 2 weeks. They would kind of have a go at it, and they would submit, and then myself and some of my colleagues were judging them a little bit, and we'd go back to the designers and say, no, can you tweak this one? Can you tweak that one? So it turned out to be a 3-week process to go through it all. But quite nice. We didn't go with any of those. I'm going to show you now what we did go with. So can you go on to the website? So I have a website. I have a skeleton of a website, and this is my website. Isn't that lovely? Do you like the colours? Scandi colours, apparently. I don't really kind of know what that is, but it's kind of lovely. So unfortunately, I haven't got a mouse, so I can't go into things, but the guys up there are going to scroll down for you. So at the top, you can see there's a bar, and underneath there is absolutely loads of headings. And the content is being built for those at the moment. So I've engaged with a lot of staff. So I've got physios doing videos about seated exercise, videos about looking at the workstation, working from home. So OT is talking about vocational staff, maybe lots and lots of videos are going in there from dietitians, speech and language therapists, a lot of written stuff. Then if you scroll down, some stats about the UK and Herefordshire there. This is basic. We're going to build and pad this up. But then there's these boxes. If you go down a bit more, these boxes here, these 6 here, are just some of the tabs at the top. So just a little bit of a brief, and you can click into those and you'll go through to more pages of information. Strapline about COVID, there's us. That's my wonderful team. Yes, I know I'm younger. Yes, I know I have blonde hair. In fact, I grew my blonde hair out in COVID. I had the opportunity to do that. I am going back blonde because I think I now look like the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz. Google, you'll know what I mean. There is a resemblance. There really is. But there's us. And then some frequently asked go down again, questions that maybe patients, you know, have a burning desire about. They're looking, they've just got a diagnosis. When will they be seen? Where are we? And then if you go down a bit more, where we're based, and a contact thing that will come directly to our email as well. So I have the bare bones. I now have to build the content a little bit more. Great, thank you. So what's next? So I have staff engagement plans. We have monthly meetings, and everyone has their own area that they're working on. The pregnancy area is quite huge. I think our pregnant ladies had a disservice last year. You know, there was a distinct lack of support for them. So I think really this is going to be a really big area of the website. I've got local charity engagement. They're all writing their own pieces for me. I'm quite lucky. I work in quite an affluent area, and we get donated £75,000 a year to give out in grants to my patients. So there's a lot of information about local support and what that will look like. Then I have some focus groups planned with patients from newly diagnosed to quite end stage to get their opinion on what information they were looking for, because I want it to match with what I'm doing, you know, and I want it in a language also that is usable for the person with MS. I have my ideas, but we need to kind of make sure that all works well together. And then we'll have a go live, and then I'll need to find more money, and then we'll have to repeat this process over and over again, increase, you know, adding to the content where we go. But I'm hoping that it will be a little bit of a model for other areas to kind of do a similar thing, and have that local a slant to a website. I think it's so powerful for patients to see their own physios, their own OT, their own nurse giving advice and where to go for, you know, hiring a mobility scooter, or, you know, some local holiday homes that we know that are accessible, you know, within a 50-mile radius. You know, lots of, you know, good, resourceful information will be on there. So I've asked any questions, but any advice is more what I wanted, really. Has anyone got any knowledge about websites or anything? Am I doing the right thing? Do you think that this is something that actually your patients also would like?
We did have a website, but we forgot to pay the bill, so they pulled it.
Yeah, I know. I can imagine that it's, yeah. Which is why I went for, so there was various different things on the website. So I could go for, they build it and I do everything, or they build it, I give them the stuff, and there's a bit of a shared, or the other extreme. So I went for that halfway decision, because I feel I have to have ownership on it, of it as well as the company being able to do that. But yeah, they will need paying, because we need to keep this all up to date. And I have no idea what I'm paying for. I'm just paying bills. I have no idea. Okay.
Of people that are going to help you build it and inform you, you know, so like research these days has, I can't remember what they're called, but they have patient groups, don't they, that advise.
Yeah. So we have, the neurology team, the wider team, the rehab areas, everyone's got a bit of a responsibility of what domain they're looking after, and they're engaging in patients in that domain, clinicians within that domain, you know, local charities within that domain, to kind of build that content, because I can't do it all.
No, exactly.
I might have the ideas, and I'm an ideas person, and I like everyone else to do the detail, you know. But
yeah. You know, you may find a web designer who's also a person working and living with MS, you know, who could really invest in just thinking.
Absolutely. I got
money.
One of my patients published in MS Today, I think it was this week actually, and I really tapped into her, and she's doing quite a bit for me on that. Yeah. Use your patience. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it was a glowing example, was it not, of what Alison told us this morning, that we undersell ourselves. Now, how many times did Dell say, it's very basic, it's very simple, oh, it's not much on it. So it was brilliant. Thank you very much. But do you want to talk a little bit more about something else?
I do. While I have you, I'm going to go on and talk about the MS Certified Nurse exam. So I guess I just want to ask, could you just put your hands up? Oh God, these contact lenses aren't wonderful. I've got one in near sight and one in distance here, and you're all a little blurry. I'm not getting on with them. So you may have to tell me who's got their hands up. Who is an MSCN? So actually, quite a few, more than I was expecting. Who knows, who doesn't know about this exam? Oh, a few, okay. Yeah, under 10. Okay, so that's interesting. So my thought is, of those who know about it, why haven't you done it? Is it that you're worried about exposing yourself and your knowledge? Because there's no course that you go through. Your course is your bread and butter, your everyday work and your clinical practice, and you're just kind of testing yourself at a certain point. Do you think that's the barrier to it? Because, in my experience over the years, it's not been a wonderfully well taken up exam. And I guess because there's no course you go on, and people are worried about assessing themselves in their own role, essentially. But
and it's partly because of other studying commitments and, all of us who've done the prescribing course, I think you don't really want to study beyond that. Ever again. I jest, anybody who's about to do it, it's fine, you get through. But I do think that's competing things, that we're all right for time. I feel. That's what stopped me anyway. Yeah.
I get that completely. I mean, I guess for the managers in the room, it's really useful as well for succession planning, and kind of that NMC revalidation, appraisal. So it's a very useful exam to have. So it covers 6 domains, and I'm not going to read them all out, but you can see that there is a broad spread through MS that it actually covers. And I've just got a few sample questions because I think, people are worried about judges. I haven't got technology, exciting slides on voting. We're going to vote with arms. They're attached to you and it's easy and it's free. So let's go through here. Which of the following drug is most likely to cause loss of libido? Is it A, steroids, hands up? Is it 2, antibiotics? Is it 3, antidepressants? Yeah, see, look, you can all do this exam. Another one. If a patient uses amantadine stroke modafinil, what should be emphasised? A butterfly rash? LFTs need monitoring. Sleep disturbance may result if taken late in the day. More than 80% of patients will find a reduction in their fatigue. 3. You can do this. Another one. In patients with MS, cognitive impairment is highly correlated with brain atrophy, disease course, disease duration, level of physical disability. Oh, bit of change there. The answer is actually 1, but you could argue some of the others as well in combination. Okay. Yeah, it is. And I think the exam is completely multiple choice, across all these domains. Okay. So how do you apply? So historically, this exam has always been offered at the MS Trust conference. We've had a separate room and an invigilator, but COVID has forced everything to go online a little bit. So it's now going to be live proctored. And what I mean by live proctored is you're going to be able to do it in your own environment, either in your home or your work environment. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a test period. I sit on the exam board, and I actually have to do the exam every year, and I help set the exam as well. And this is a massive step forward, really, because it's not been this way before. And the exam period is going to be in March of next year. The live proctoring doesn't start until January, so this is a very new approach. Now, there is a cost, and it's $345 because it's an American exam. But if you are a UK MSSNA member, it is free. So again, I think that is a bit of a barrier because not everyone is a UK MSSNA member. But it is a benefit of being a member, £35 a year versus $345. And I've just put, how you go about finding where to do it. Here we go, that's the UK dates. It's the week before the conference, I think, yeah. So it kind of ties in nicely there, and it can be any time of the day or night that you take the exam. Have we got time? We have. Can we go into this video? This is a very 2-minute video just talking about live proctoring, what you have to do
ProMetric's remote
at home.
proctoring platform. ProProctor makes it easy to test anywhere, anytime, even from the comfort of your own home. Getting started is simple. On test day, your confirmation link will take you to the ProProctor platform. Prior to the exam, you will go through a system readiness check. This lets us know that your system is ready to install and run the ProProctor application. Should anything be flagged, you'll have the ability to select and alter to fit our requirements. Once the system check is complete, you can download and install the ProProctor application. After launching your exam, an easy-to-follow check-in process will guide you through the final preparations before you are greeted by a ProMetric readiness agent. If you need assistance at any time, help is available via the chat button. Your readiness agent is there to walk you through ProProctor's security checks. Your agent will confirm that your details match that of the scheduled appointment, ask you to perform a 360-degree environmental check, ask you to do a scan of your person, including a sleeve, pocket, and glasses check. To make this process as streamlined as possible, there are a few things to keep in mind. Do test in an orderly and well-lit room or workspace. Sit in an upright position. Test alone for the entire exam. Have your computer on a table or desk. Don't sit in a reclined position on a bed or a couch with your computer in your lap. Test in a poorly lit or cluttered room or workspace. Have people or pets present in your testing area at any time. Use a dual monitor configuration to test. Once you complete this process, you are ready to take your online proctored exam. Your proctor will monitor you throughout the testing process and will be available to provide assistance at any point during the exam. ProProctor makes completing your testing goals simple, anytime, anywhere. For more information, visit our website.
Gee shucks. Very American, isn't it? What I'm hoping, because it's done this way, I'm hoping there'll be a bigger uptake, because you can do it in the privacy of your own home. There's no competition, you know, you're not embarrassed because nobody else will know that you're taking it. So I do urge people to go forward with this. So please come and talk to me about the exam. So obviously I talked about the UKMS SNA, so it's great value at £35 a year. There are committee members in the room. Can you all stand up so that people are aware of who you are, to go and have a chat to about... Come on! Oh, maybe stand up more. Yeah. So, you know, there's a lot of people in the room who aren't members, and there are great, you know, there's great benefits to the UKMS SNA. Not just the exam, and you know, I've just put a few of the benefits under their strapline. So, so again, thank you for putting up with me again, and allow me to use the captive audience to kind of talk about the exam.